In recent times, Assam and Hemant Biswa Sharma was in the spotlight because of the Miya identity issue. Can you explain what is the Miya identity issue and who benefits from it?
Oh, yes, the question of Miya identity has been raised time and again in the socio-political discourse of Assam, sometimes in the form of Miya poetry, sometimes as Miya Gan, that is Miya song. Now, the recent was Miya Bihu. Now, see, what is Miya? Let me explain this first. Miya is a colloquial form of address that is used by most common men and women of Assam to designate the Bangladeshi origin Muslims. And it is a commonplace reference which is used to describe their language, their food habits, their culture, which are very different from the native Assamese community. But over the past few years, if you see, the same Miya identity has been hailed as some kind of a laurel in the light of the increasing immigrant population in the state and the changing demographics. There are people with vested interests from the so-called lobby of intellectuals and academicians who seem to be delighted by the emergence and acceptance of this identity, of this Miya identity, by the immigrant Muslim population in Assam. So this is an important development that naturally raises one basic fundamental question. Isn't the assertion and adaptation of this particular moniker, that is Miya, by the Bangladeshi Muslim community, isn't it same with the Do Qaumi Nazariya that was espoused and propagated by the Muslim League and Muhammad Ali Jinnah in 20th century British India? We all know what happened eventually, right? The creation of Pakistan, and the rest is history. So what if this yearning for a separate identity, for a separate Miya identity, someday in the near future, result in a demand by this particular population of Miyas, that is the Bangladeshi Muslims, declaring themselves as a separate nation? Because after all, the system of separate electorates was the root cause behind the creation of Pakistan, right? If we view in retrospect. And this is a question worth asking by every rational mind. Appeasement politics bred its own problems in pre-independent India. In post-independent India, we have seen what it has done. It is equally responsible for the continuation and consolidation of the Do Qaumi Nazariya of Muslim politics since the pre-partition days. So, the glorification and over-glorification of a separate Miya identity in Assam implies a reinvention of Jinnah's two-nation theory, and in doing so, it defames the larger Assamese society both at the national and the international levels. The simple, peace-loving people of Assam, they have their own share of contribution in facilitating the upward economic mobility of the Bangladeshi Muslims. See, we have employed their men as laborers in our fields. We have also employed their women as maids and servants in our homes. But now they are raping, they are molesting our girls and our women. And also by vouching for a separate micro identity, that is a separate Miya identity within the larger Assamese regional identity, these people are now implicitly supporting the creation of another separate nation within the Indian nation. And their claim, like through Miya poetry, they have been claiming that they are facing suffering and humiliation in the hands of the Assamese Hindus in Assam. This is simply ridiculous, because had it been so, how have they managed to take part in India's largest democratic exercise in the elections? Also, you see, by virtue of the same democratic process, they are becoming the representatives of their so-called Miya community within the larger Assamese society since the time of independence. And most importantly, their increasing numbers in each consecutive census, this is something which we cannot overlook. They have easy access to all government facilities. They have easy access to all government schemes. So what kind of suffering they are talking about? What kind of suffering they are facing in Assam? It's nothing but sheer propaganda. They are able to own land. They are competing for government jobs. at par with rest of the society. They are even contesting elections. But their names, these people's names are always at the forefront of any criminal activities, whether it is rape, whether it is molestation, whether it is forced abduction of Hindu girls, whether it is cow smuggling, forcible occupation of land, etc., drug smuggling. Their names are always at the forefront. That is why I said the perpetrators are always the same, the victims are always the same. But the espousal of a separate Miya identity, this is nothing but victimhood politics that the Bangladeshi Muslims in Assam, in collusion with a corrupt communist academia, have always been playing to garner as much sympathy as possible for their cause. They are extremely clever. They are extremely adept at the art of setting the narrative at the global level. And this they have been doing strategically to achieve a long-term objective. And this objective is to establish a separate Miya land, which has all the potentials of becoming a clarion call for a separate nation in the near future. They are backed by a powerful international lobby of authors, of intellectuals, poets, human rights activists, NGO workers, etc. I remember there was this woman research scholar who proudly calls herself a Miya woman research scholar at Guwahati University. She had posted a Facebook update in the year 2018 where she could be seen that she was enjoying the victory of Pakistan over India at a cricket match. And she had also said that she was celebrating Pakistan's victory over India in the match by eating beef. The Assam police had immediately taken note of this Facebook post and registered a suo motu case against her under the Information Technology Act. But the question is, what prompted this lady to commit such an act in the very first place? She's staying in Assam. She is utilizing all the resources. She has economically progressed in her life. So is she so naive to not have known that former East Pakistan, that is present day Bangladesh, was exploited to the hilt by today's Pakistan, and by posting such offensive pictures in social media that she's celebrating the victory of Pakistan over India in the cricket match and she's celebrating it by eating beef, wasn't she also giving vent to the long harbored dream of a few Muslim leaders who wanted to make Assam an Islamic nation at the time of India's independence? So a separate Miya identity poses serious threats to the complex sub-regional metrics of the Assamese polity, because a separate branch of Miya poetry or Miya song or Miya Bihu or the demand for a Miya museum itself contain the seeds of a separate nationhood that proudly disowns India and an Indian identity. Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has continuously tried to draw the attention of the larger Indian public to this problem of Assam. His speeches on this subject in the recent assembly sessions were infused with a lively gusto that not only influenced the opinions of the youth, but have also been able to convince others about the threat to the Assamese identity and the Assamese culture, and the need for it to be protected right now. So it might sound like a politically incorrect concern or even academically suicidal to talk about for some people, but there are certain genuine fears, as I mentioned in the beginning. The fear of becoming an alien in one's own land, that has more to do with culture and civilization. There has been a continuous disappearance of non-Muslim communities from the border districts of Lower Assam. Where did these people go? And at a time when the issue of Islamic immigration has become a serious cause of concern in the Western countries and their political systems, so it is too naive to not expect a reaction from the people of Assam. The assertion of a separate Miya identity by the Bangladeshi Muslims, a sensitive border state like Assam, is nothing but a precursor to Jinnah's two-nation theory, which has always been the guiding force of the Islamist political imagination since the very beginning. And it also, in a way, I feel, it provides further fuel to the increasing Arabization of the Bangladeshi Muslims in Assam, who adore, who even today adore an invader like Mir Jumla as their hero. So the changing demographic character of several districts in Assam in this context simply cannot be overlooked.